first movement in this series is from David Gray Rehab, and we're going to come from a wall 90-90 here. So the heels are right out in front of the knees are right over the hips. So I'm at 90-90, creating a box against the wall. I'm going to take my feet in a little closer than hip width, kind of mimicking my running or walking gait narrowness. And I'm going to take a foam roller or a ball, and I'm going to set it right under the notch of the knee and just grab it parallel to the floor with enough pressure that a toddler couldn't take it from you. And what we're going to do from this position is rest the head, neck and arms and shoulders. We're going to lightly mush the kidneys into the ground until the tailbone rises about 1 inch, 2 inches off the floor. So it's a very low amount, just enough to get the thick of your hand under there, maybe a little more. And you're going to notice light activation in the hamstrings or back of the legs. And you can grab back there and make sure they're on. If they're not, let me know, we can figure it out, but they should be. From this position, you should feel that hamstring tightness. Feet are like Spider-Man's hands. I'm scaling up a building, so there's traction under my feet. And I want to have equal tension in the back of both legs and under each foot. So if you feel that you're favoring one or the other, play around and find a balance there. Now once we're here, we're going to be breathing nasal inhale, low, slow, down into the waistline. Exhale, make it audible, get all the air out. You can do pursed lips or fogging the mirror in the back of the throat. So we'll do 3 to 5 breaths, holding this position, finding a good position here. Try not to let your hips come down or up when you're doing your breathing. The core comes in on itself, core sets, shrinks on the exhale, get all the air out. Now, you can rest before you continue, or you can go right into the knee rolls. Now, the knee rolls are me trying to turn the foam roller by taking one knee forward up to the ceiling and retracting the other one down. I'm staying within a narrow hallway here, so my hips aren't shifting left or right, and my knees aren't coming left or right. I'm completely straight, perpendicular with the floor through here, and I'm rotating at the pelvis to lightly move that foam roller back and forth, all the while pushing to where a toddler couldn't get this out. Maybe you can squeeze it a little harder. You might find some shakiness here, and we want to do about 10 to 30 rolls, keeping the tailbone roughly 1 inch off the ground the whole time, squeezing the foam roller and moving the hips like pistons in a car engine back and forth. When I lift this left knee up, I should feel more tension and work in my right hamstring. And when I switch right knee up, I should feel more tension and work in the left hamstring. And I should feel my inner thighs the whole time. If you don't, squeeze the foam roller a little harder. Make sure you're not holding your breath. And again, 10 to 30 rolls. Check in with your hips, make sure they're not lifting or lowering too much. Just about 1 inch off the tailbone as the hips start to shift. The tailbone in the center stays 1 inch, and I stay within that narrow hallway. For the half kneeling variation, we're gonna have our toes against the wall, up knee right in front of up hip. I've got my left leg up here. My right hip is right above my right knee, and my right heel is right behind my right knee. So very uniform here. I'm going to set the yoga block on its lowest setting. I'm going to drive my knee into it again right in front of that hip. I'm going to use the traction on the top of my calf in this back leg to push backward and driving my left knee into the wall. So I'm creating a wedge. I also want to make sure my pelvis is not untucked, so I'm going to tuck it. And once it's lightly tucked and not exaggeratively tucked, crank back, just a light tuck. I'm gonna, again, resume the wedge. So I'm pushing this foot back, not letting it slide to drive this so no one could take it. Now from that position, I'm gonna use my entire spine to turn this way across my up leg. So I'm gonna turn left over my left leg here. Tall through the crown, ear, shoulder, hip, and knee of the down leg are all in one straight line. Head in the clouds, nice and decompressed in this position. And I'm going to take a low, slow nasal inhale to the waistline. And on the exhale, I'm gonna get all my air out, turning this way as far as I can comfortably. As I get all that air out, I'm still wedging myself. No one can take this, and I feel glute, hamstring, maybe the stretch in the front of my down hip, and everything's quite active. We're gonna do 3. All the air, big glute contraction, never letting this not push. And again, with this knee pushing forward and me trying to pull the hip back through rotation, I'm getting this opposition that's gonna make the hip capsule, again, feel really good. And I'll show you the other side. So I would do 3 to 5 breaths each side, 2 to 3 rounds. Toe to the wall, knee in front of hip, this knee right in line with the ear. I'm pushing that leg back, feeling the glute, hamstring contract, traction under the front of the calf. I am lightly tucked in the pelvis, so I'm active in the trunk. Tall through the crown, nasal inhale, low, slow. Exhale all your air out, twist as far as you can to the right. Pushing the whole time, get all that air out. When you think it's all out, go for a little more. And then what we can do here is once you've got 2 or 3 rounds per side with about 3 to 5 breaths, and you want to go a little further, we can add a medicine ball, pushing in. Keeping the medicine ball up, not curling down. Pushing forward the whole time. You can also go bottoms up or goblet style kettlebell. You want to look with your eyes as you rotate because it's going to give you better range of motion. If I look this way as I turn, notice I can't go as far as when I look with my eyes. So again, progress these with load. Make sure you look where you're turning. Keep the knee pressing into the wall at all times and see how it feels. In this lunge, you'll have your front foot, toes to the wall. You'll have the yoga block on whatever setting best gets your knee over your ankle. So somewhere between these two, that might be a little far back so I could walk my foot a little further away. And if I am shorter in the foot, I might be able to get away with that lowest setting. I'm gonna go ahead and do this middle one so I can be a little more centrated, knee over ankle. I'm back and up on the ball of my big toe, and my heel is directly over the ball of the big toe, not going left or right. From this position, you'll have to gather what distance your back foot away from the front foot should be for most comfort, so feel free to play with that. Now in this lunge, I want a little bit of my pelvic tilt back without straining, and I want my left knee right in front of my right hip right in line with my back foot or ball of the big toe. And I'm squared off. My belt buckle is parallel to the wall in front of me. I'm gonna take my opposite elbow or my right elbow, and we're going to turn the belt buckle and the right hip towards the inside of the leading knee, and we're gonna drop that back leg till our elbow connects or we get close. We don't wanna compress here. We wanna keep the chest nice and open, and then we exhale and return. So again, I'm getting a nice pelvic rotation. The whole time I'm pushing my knee into the block by using my back foot to kind of wedge me into it. And from there, we're gonna do 3 more reps. Inhaling on the way down, exhaling audibly on the way up. This comes back. Pushing the knee forward the whole time. Again, just to show you from a different angle, when I am coming down, my belt buckle is tilted and parallel to the wall in front of me. When I'm coming down to meet, I'm bringing my trunk, coiling, pointing my belt buckle to this front knee, inner thigh. And then I'm staying very upright, just like that. So I'll show the other side. Changing the position of the block here. And you can change the position as long as the knee's close to the ankle. Again, you can play with how far this leg is back and how much the knee is over the ankle a little before or after it. I want to look across as I come down. If it doesn't feel good to bring the knee all the way down, be shy of it. We don't have to touch the block. So a small rep is fine. And again, as I'm twisting this back, my right hip, where this right knee is attached to, it's coming around, swiveling, but yet I still have to drive so no one could move this. So we're getting kind of an opposition of force, knee forward as the hip comes back. Feels wonderful in the hip socket here.